Let's rewind for a second. We've all seen the glossy images, Beyonce in her shimmering gowns, Jay-Z by her side in perfectly tailored suits, Blue Ivy with her poised little stares, and the twins, Sir and Rumi, tucked neatly into this royal music dynasty. From outside, it looks airtight, unshakable even, but what if that entire image, that flawless empire, is actually stitched together with silence, secrets, and strategy? Enter Rymir Satterthwaite. He's not a rapper, not an influencer, not trying to go viral. He's just a man who's been saying the same thing for over a decade. Jay-Z is my father. Simple claim, right? You'd think all it takes is a DNA test, 5 minutes, swab, and done, but instead, he's been met with court battles, legal shutdowns, and a wall of power that refuses to budge. Jay-Z's legal team hasn't just ignored him, they've fought him. Hard. Dismissals, motions, jurisdiction games, all designed to keep that cheek swab from ever happening, and that's where things start getting strange. Because here's the thing, if Jay-Z truly had nothing to hide, why not take the test and move on? That's what makes people start looking deeper, and now Rymir isn't just raising the paternity issue about himself. He's questioning the entire Carter bloodline. According to him, Beyonce's kids, yes, those kids, might not even be Jay-Z's. He's saying what nobody else has dared to publicly suggest, that Blue Ivy, Sir, and Rumi could have been fathered by other men, not Jay-Z, that Beyonce may have had private entanglements and the Carter image was protected through quiet deals and public loyalty. Now let that sink in for a second, because this isn't just a rumor whispered on a blog. This is coming from someone who's been in courtrooms, held sworn affidavits from his late mother Wanda, and kept receipts. He's not yelling for attention. He's speaking in that calm, consistent voice of someone who's already lost everything but refuses to lie down. And when you combine that with other women stepping up, like Letitia Mason from Maryland, claiming they too are Jay-Z's children, suddenly this isn't isolated, it's a pattern. A whole network of ignored claims, sealed records, and courtroom dodges. So if Jay's been avoiding one test, is it that far-fetched to believe he's avoiding more? Here's where Beyonce gets pulled directly into the eye of the storm. She's always been calculated, polished, flawless even in crisis. When Jay-Z cheated on her, she turned the pain into a Grammy-winning visual album. But through all the smoke, she never addressed these paternity rumors, not once. And that's odd, especially when your entire brand is built on truth, strength, and family. If someone was falsely claiming your children weren't yours, wouldn't you want to clear that up immediately? Instead, silence, not a denial, not a clapback, just photo shoots, award speeches, and captions carefully curated like nothing ever happened. Which makes you wonder, does she know something we don't? Or worse, has she always known? And now, conspiracy theorists are going wild. They're digging through photos, comparing facial features, matching timelines, they're rereading her lyrics with new eyes. Was Lemonade really about Jay's betrayal, or was there more between the lines? Was the elevator fight with Solange about infidelity, or about secrets too big to speak on? Suddenly, everything that once seemed like drama now feels like clues, and the more you look, the harder it gets to unsee. This is no longer just about one man asking for the truth. It's about an empire that might be cracking under the pressure of its own lies. And the silence? That might be the loudest signal of all. Jay-Z's reluctance to take a DNA test has become one of the strangest open secrets in entertainment. We're not talking about some random rumor here, we're talking about a billionaire mogul who could shut everything down with a cheap tip and a cheek swab. But instead, for over 10 years, he's chosen lawyers, court filings, and flat-out silence. And that's what's throwing fuel on the fire, because when someone avoids the easiest way to prove the truth, people start asking, what exactly is he hiding? Rymir's mother, Wanda, signed an affidavit before she died, swearing she had a relationship with Jay-Z in the early 90s. The timelines match, the locations match, the story hasn't changed in over a decade. Meanwhile, Jay's team keeps calling the lawsuits harassment, painting Rymir as a desperate opportunist. But Rymir's not asking for a check. He's not selling interviews, he's asking for recognition, that's it. And the longer he gets ignored, the louder the questions become, especially when you factor in the rest of the whispers, like the ones about Beyonce's children. According to Rymir and a few unnamed insiders, the real reason Jay-Z doesn't want his own DNA examined has less to do with Rymir and more to do with protecting the legitimacy of the Carter kids. Because if a test opens the door to doubt, then suddenly the entire image of the perfect Carter family comes crashing down. It's a domino effect. If Jay-Z isn't Blue Ivy's biological father, it changes everything. We're talking about a child who's already been awarded Grammys, appeared in music videos, and built into a brand. Not just a kid, but a symbol. And if that symbol isn't even blood, then what are we all really looking at? A business decision? A branding move? A cover-up? That's the theory. That this entire empire, music, fashion, endorsements, political clout isn't just built on talent and hustle, but on tightly controlled illusions. And that Beyonce, the queen of control herself, might be the one pulling the quiet strings behind the curtain. According to some former insiders, Beyonce knew about Rymir from the beginning. They say she agreed to stay silent in exchange for protection, that Jay-Z would never expose her alleged affairs and she'd never let his secrets out either. A deal, a truce, a mutual silence pact that kept the Carter kingdom intact no matter what was happening behind closed doors. And here's where it gets real twisted, because the internet has receipts. People have started pulling up old red carpet clips, awkward body language, deleted Instagram posts, and even comparing photos of the Carter kids to other men who were once rumored to be close to Beyonce. It's messy, speculative, borderline obsessive, but when you look at the timing, some of it does make you pause. Like, who was in Beyonce's life around the time she got pregnant? Who disappeared from her inner circle right after the twins were born? It's not hard to see why people are digging. Add to that the rumors about financial leverage, claims that Rymir's camp has uncovered documents or information that could hurt Jay-Z's business empire. We're talking about potential settlements, non-disclosure agreements, maybe even hush money tied to keeping these secrets buried. If that's even partially true, then this isn't just a family issue, it's a corporate liability. The deeper this goes, the more it starts looking like a story about control. Not love, not loyalty, control. Who gets to speak, who gets silenced, who gets protected, and who gets erased. And at the center of it all is a billionaire couple with more to lose than almost anyone else on the planet. Rymir isn't just up against a man, he's up against a machine. The Carter brand isn't built on albums and awards alone. It's a full-scale empire made of streaming platforms, sports agencies, luxury partnerships, political clout, and multi-million-dollar campaigns, and that's what makes his fight so impossible. Every time he speaks, he's drowned out by lawyers, PR teams, and the sheer weight of celebrity influence. But the more he's pushed down, the more people start asking why. This isn't about fame. Rymir's not on talk shows, he's not flashing chains or chasing interviews. He's just trying to force a man to acknowledge what might be the truth, that he has a son he's ignored for decades. And if the rumors are right, that truth could unravel everything. Because if a DNA test confirms Rymir's claim, the spotlight doesn't stop with Jay-Z. It turns straight to Beyonce and the image she's spent a lifetime crafting. Think about it. Beyonce has been the blueprint for perfection, from Destiny's Child to Coachella. Every move has been calculated, every word rehearsed, every photo approved. She's not just a performer, she's a symbol of power, motherhood, grace, and loyalty. But if it turns out the children she shares with Jay-Z aren't actually his, that image doesn't just crack, it shatters. Because the betrayal wouldn't just be personal, it would be cultural. Millions have looked up to her as a symbol of what a strong, united Black family looks like at the top. Take that away, and you're not just breaking hearts, you're collapsing a fantasy. Online sleuths are already deep into the rabbit hole. They're pulling old interview clips, looking for double meanings in Lemonade lyrics, dissecting song credits, and even comparing baby photos to rumored lovers. Some believe that hidden messages have always been there, that Beyonce's silence wasn't weakness but strategy, that her ability to keep the spotlight off these rumors for years shows just how much power she really holds. But now, that silence is starting to look less like control and more like fear, and behind the headlines, Rymir is still just a man whose life has been consumed by courts, by unanswered questions, by the crushing weight of being ignored. He's been called a liar, a leech, a conspiracy theorist. But he's still here, still filing motions, still holding on to that affidavit from his mother who swore on her life that Jay-Z was the father of her child. That kind of persistence doesn't come from greed, it comes from pain, from identity, from a lifetime of wondering who you really are. And that's what makes this so tragic, because while the world gossips and memes and speculates, a man's whole life is caught in limbo. Jay-Z's team says this is about harassment, that Rymir's chasing something that doesn't exist. But if it's really that simple, if there's truly nothing to hide, then why not take the test? One swab, one result, one answer. Unless the answer is the problem. There's a storm brewing and the Carters are standing at the center. If even a fraction of what's been claimed turns out to be true, the fallout won't be limited to paternity headlines. It'll ripple through everything. Endorsements, brand deals, legacy, even public trust. Because at the end of the day, this story isn't about music. It's about truth. And if the empire we've all admired was built on carefully concealed secrets, then the collapse won't be quiet. It'll be loud, public, and irreversible. The question now isn't whether Rymir's telling the truth, it's how long the Carters can keep pretending none of this exists.